Hey, how's it going? Julio Lopez here. And this is another video about the interview that I just got with the cybersecurity expert that had an incident where she was working and he was contracted to solve the issue. We're gonna discuss what kind of incident was it, and also the response to the incident, what it was. So with no further ado, here we go. So in this case scenario, the it was a business impact compromise, and that they discovered that a lot of financial information was leaked to it. Though you know those phishing emails that sometimes people receive, that they ask you to verify, password information and stuff like that. They better known as BEC or business email compromise. And they technically rely on social media attacks. In this case, the CFO received an email, and then it was a human error where the CFO provided personal information, something that costing uh, a lot of money. Okay, and next we're gonna explore what vulnerabilities were exploited, and what was the response to it, though. And they found very some vulnerabilities. In this case, they respond very slowly and gave the attackers enough time, um, and they had so much information that they were able to. The damage was irreversible, and they were able to, you know, uh, cash in a lot of money, though. But as therefore, I mean, they had to retrain the whole staff, this doesn't happen in the future, though. So on the next slide, we're gonna talk about what was the before and after, you know, um, and what precautions they took and steps to better the process of preventing this from happening again in the future. So before this incident happened, right? The organization didn't rely on the zero trust model. Technically, it's based when you create a zero trust model. Technically, everything is closed down, so you start from zero, where no one has access to, let's say, to the databases, in this case emails. So, and that's a common mistake most a lot of people do and companies do, like they open everything and they assign emails. For example, they don't put the emails only on the organization, and any third party outside of the organization can email the employees. That's a huge mistake. So after that, they were forced technically when it was too late, but it's never too late to do something better. Uh, they adopt zero trust architecture in the organization, where technically relies adjacent policies, where each person had their own role. And I mean, and this is another thing. If a regular employee doesn't need you know access to budgeting, why an organization is going to have this on the open for everybody to see? That's probably only for supervisor or the CEO of the company. So these layers of zero trust architecture means everything está blocked, that nobody has access to any information, and then slowly you will open those channels and ports where, depending on the role of the user or the employee, you be opening these different access of the information within the organization. And this is what is about zero trust architecture. So on the next slide, we're gonna explore the different, tools that you can use within AWS to mitigate and prevent this incident on an organization. Listen again, I'm gonna say it again. You don't have to wait until the last minute for this to happen. You can apply this from the beginning, from the get-go, when an organization is created, though. So these are some of the tools I'm gonna briefly explain and go through them. So the least privilege is, it goes attached along to the zero trust architecture. Uh, where all the users they have zero access to anything, and slowly you're gonna be opening this access to information within the organization. MFA required technically for the login is very important. I don't know why people don't use this, and especially in organizations, again, very important. Apply MFA login on every, you know, every day, every single day. Even I go against those official when people say, "Oh, remember my password." Don't click on remember my password and on every MFA on those on these enterprises. So it creates another layer of security. So it can be so hackers don't exploit this. Guard duty, this is another great tool for AWS that you can apply a help you monitor suspicious activities, and like execute injections and stuff like that. CloudTrail logs, when something like this like happened on the email, which it was exploited. If you don't have any CloudTrail logs that you can a different log tracing. In this case, they didn't have anything. It was really hard for them to pinpoint what happened with the email, how it was had. That's why it took a long time to mitigate the situation. So with CloudTrail logs from AWS, you can go back exactly what happened within minutes. You can have all the answers that you have, not all of them, but it's way better than not having anything at all where to look for. So the CloudTrail logs, you go to where you know exactly who was the last person to get in. You can inspect the ports, what was open at the moment, and so on. If you continue doing this, there's so much you can help the organization to protect and to activate any precautions in the moment when the attack is happening. A security hub also, SOPs, JSON policies, for compliance, where people also are educated or trained on a regular basis to prevent these kind of issues from happening. Also, IAM policies is a great tool that AWS provide, where you can manage individual users. When you start an organization, this is where you start assigning roles to individuals, users, like to data analyst. For example, data analysts, they only need to read access to everything, because they won't be inputting data. Only they're gonna be reading data for presentation for the stakeholders. Developers, they probably need some read access, but they don't need read access to everything on the organization. It depends on what department they are. If you are working, for example, on the department of operations, as a developer, or a cloud engineer, uh, you only need access to that department, and you can set that up on IAM policies. You don't need access to, let's say, for example, safety and risk department environment. So everything needs to be separate and different, VPNs and so on. But these are, some of the well-known tools. There's way more, but these are one of the main ones that can help you at least to start, investing on and prevent these kind of failures, though. And besides that, I'm gonna show you on the next slides, how you can utilize these tools, though, and an emergency, though, like GuardDuty, like I said before, it can detect threat and alert, the admin on what to do. The CrowdTrail too, you can try the API calls right away. Config drift also. Any configuration changes that somebody changes, it can create a trigger or a red flag on the system too. And so on. We can go through all of these, but you can pause the video and read the description, all of this, what to do on this, and mitigate some of these situations. And like I say, I am anomalies. So all of a sudden, if you have ex-employee that has access only to what I said, like safety compliance, like inspections on life safety equipment, and then all of a sudden you see the and with the IAM anomalies, you can see that this user is accessing another part of the server or having access to it that is nothing related to safety. Or with the AM anomalies, you can see that this user is logging in on the weekends, for example, when this employee is working on the only Monday or Friday. You know what I'm saying? So those are things that can help you. These tools can help you to monitor, so you can trigger alerts. Everybody in the company. Some company, I know most of them they don't, but some company work Monday or Friday. Nobody should be working on the weekends, right? Unless they're on call. So for people that are not on call, you can create, alerts, and GuardDuty that alert you that this employee shouldn't be accessing the server during those off times on the weekends. Okay, these are the main tools for response. Now, how can we utilize this and apply an order on a response to mitigate the situation? That's what I'm going to show you on the next slide. So this is the AWS incident response plan that I created based on the incident that couldn't be used on this, and only on this, on a broader spectrum in other cases too. So I put on this order, but sometimes depending on the environment, you might put on different order. So the first thing you gotta do is identify the anomaly again, and that's why you use the cloud trails, like what happened, go to the logs first. That's first thing you should do. Then once you identify what the attack happened, whether it was on a single server, multi-server, or it was on a subnet of the VPN. Now, once you locate that through the logs, then you contain the account. How you close the ports, you close any inbound or outbound traffic. Not only that, you eradicate access. Technically, what does this means? You temporarily, deny permissions. You can use a master user to block out everything. You can say that using, IAM. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is a great way to mitigate the situation, to at least to have it under control, though. Now, once everything is on fully under control after these first three steps, and then you control the situation and mitigate it. So the next step is to recover IAM. Again, you start like by slowly, like when you started from the beginning, and slowly assigning roles again, opening the same roles that are already in place. Since you only like lock the accounts temporarily, you can slowly like on brackets and teams on groups. Usually a good idea is to do in groups. It started slowly adding back the opening the roles back to and allowing the JSON policies on the individual and groups of users using AM. Also after that, improved training. So after you identify that, what you gotta ask this question: what can I do better to prepare the employees or whoever the folks that that were a victim about these attacks? Even if it happened to one person, it can happen to anyone. I mean, nobody's more intelligent than anyone or smarter, so it can happen to anyone. So once it's a good idea to, in this case, Christian was able to create and improve training after the fact, so employees and the CFO are better prepared in the future from these phishing emails though. And also, like, it doesn't mean because you have a good plan it's always gonna work. I mean, this is a business where cybersecurity, that everything evolved through time, throughout the years. Everything there's something new. So you must. I'm sorry. I say you need, but it's not you need. You must. It's it's very 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 important that you keep improving the system. If there's a new tool, explore it. If there's a new training, to add a layer of protection to your organization, do it. Keep yourself informed, educated, because what worked today didn't work 5 years ago. What worked 5 years ago, it didn't work 10 years ago, and so on. And that's always gonna be the case. So I hope this video was very educational, and I learned a lot through this interview too, something that I can probably apply to my personal life or whatever in the workplace that I am since I'm a data analyst. So thanks for listening to the interview. Thanks for listening to me. And I hope you have a wonderful holidays. Have a good night, and Julio Lopez here. I see you on the next video.